again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with a continuation and conclusion of the Spiderweb Filet Blanket. I want to thank all of you for joining me today, and also a big thank you to Lion Brand for sponsoring this video, and of course, my testers for helping to make this possible. Thank you ever so much to everybody, and links are all in the description box down below, as well as the timestamps as per usual. And we are on row 28. Yes, just 6 more rows to go for the repeat, and then you can be on your merry little way. So for row 28, I'm going to start off with a chaining up of 3 as per usual, and turn our work. It's like the more you do, the more cumbersome it becomes, but you know what? We forge ahead. Okay, so after chaining up 3, we're going to skip that first stitch, and we're going to do stitches into the next 11 stitches. So 11 double crochets. And this row is actually pretty easy. So we've already got 3. And 4. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, right now we're covering over the eyelets from the previous row. I think this should be 8. Bit of a tangle. Not to worry, we got this. There we go. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 1 more. Makes 11. Okay, so after the first 11, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 11. Chain 1, skip 1, and then 11 doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 more, 10, and 11. Bear with me, I like to pull out a decent length of yarn, and sometimes that works out for me. Sometimes I get myself into a bit of a tangle, which I have right now, but that's okay. It's life. It happens. Okay. Now, so we did our 2 groupings of 11. Now, from here, going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 15. Our block of 19 is going to start to shrink at this point. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 15, and then we finish with a pair of 11s. So like I said, this row is pretty easy. So I already got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 2 more. 14 and 15. Oh, well, almost. 15. There we go. Okay. Then, because that was the middle section, now we backtrack. So, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 11. And we're going to do that twice. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 11. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now to finish up the multiple, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next. And then, as per usual, I'm going to do my second multiple off camera, and I will meet back up with you for the recap. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so recap for row 28, starting off with an eyelet. Then we've got 11 doubles, another 11, and then 15 in the middle because our 19 is shrinking down. And then 11 doubles and 11 doubles. Our marker with an eyelet in the middle there. Then another 11 doubles, 15, ending with 11 and 11, and of course with our eyelet at the end. All right, so that is row 28. Row 29. Okay, so row 29, we're going to sort of hopscotch around a little bit. Starting off, of course, with a chaining up of 3, skipping the first stitch, and then doubling into the next 7 stitches. So skip that one, then 7 doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Then chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 3. Okie dokie. So we're sort of developing a corner here. And then after the 3, going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 13 because we need to shrink the middle. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. So chained 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 13. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this should be 6, yes, yes. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. See, we're still encroaching on the middle section here. So after doing our 13, going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 11. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and into the next 11. So the 19 space in the middle, yeah, it's slowly decreasing down to a point eventually. We're getting there. Right now it's 11 stitches. Pretty soon it will be a pinpoint. Okay, so I've already got 6. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, and then we have to backtrack. So chain 1, skip a stitch, and then double into, I believe it was the next 13. Just double checking here. Yep, 13. So I've already got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, after the 13, going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 3. Chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, after the 3, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 7. Like I said, there's a bunch of hopscotching in this row. So I chained 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 7, and then we will finish up with an eyelet as per usual. So I've already got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next, and that is going to finish up our multiple. The second multiple, going to do it off camera, and I will be back to do the recap for you. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so a quick recap of row 29, starting off with the eyelet. We've got 7 doubles, then 3, then 13, 11 for the middle, then another 13, 3, and 7. Eyelet for the demarcation, and then we've got 7, 3, 13, 11, 13, 3, and 7, with of course the eyelet at the end, and that is how you would continue to do row 29. Okay. Okay, row 30. All right, so as per usual, chain up 3, so we can do our eyelet at the end, and turn our work, and skipping that first stitch again as per usual, and we're going to double into the next 5 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, then after those 5, we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double the next 5 again. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and double the next 5. So our eyelets are going to be going up at an angle again. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this series of eyelets is going to continue in the vertical fashion. So at this point, after we have our 2 groupings of 5, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 15. So chain 1, skip a stitch, and we've got 15 to go. Okay, got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay. Then we have reached the middle. So going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 7, shrinking down the middle even more so. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we get to backtrack. Chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 15. Okay, already got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got to pull out a little bit more yarn and scooch my work, sorry. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, then we have our 2 groupings of 5. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 5. Sorry, my yarn tangled a little bit. So I got 3, 4, and 1 more for the first grouping of 5. Then chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 5. There we go. Ooh. Ha! Thought you escaped me. Then, to finish up, chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next for our eyelet at the end of our multiple. Okay, so going to do the second multiple off camera, and I will do a recap with you. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so recap for row 30, starting off with an eyelet at the end. We've got a grouping of 5 doubles, another 5, then breaking up the big guns with 15, 7 in the middle, shrinking down like I said, and then after the 7 in the middle, another 15, a grouping of 5, and another grouping of 5. The demarcation of the end of the multiple, and then starting over again with a grouping of 5, 5, 15, 7 in the middle, 15, 5, and 5. And then, of course, the little eyelet at the very end. And that, my dears, is row 30. Row 31. Okay, I'm going to start off as per usual with a chaining up of 3. Turn the work. And skipping that first stitch, and we're going to go into the next 3 stitches with doubles. There we are. Having these eyelets travel up, and then chain 1, skipping a stitch, and doubling into the next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more. Makes 9. Okay, then chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into, I believe, 15? Yes, 15. Okay. 15 stitches. And then we're going to shrink down the middle even more. I told you it was going to happen. I didn't lie. All right, I've already got 4 down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, we have reached the middle of the multiple. It was 7. Now we're going to be reducing it down to 3. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 3. There we are. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 15, going for that symmetry. So we're in the process of backtracking now. So I've already got 4. Pull out a little bit more yarn here. I have a tendency of pulling out too much, and then it gets all tangled on me, so I can learn. All right, so I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, then chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 9. I'll get there. So I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, then to finish up this multiple, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 3, and then of course the eyelet at the end. There we go. Okay, so I've got my 3 doubles, chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next, and there we have our multiple. Going to do the next one off camera, and I will meet back up with you. I will see you in a bit. Okay, so for the recap of row 31, starting off with an eyelet, proceeding with 3 doubles, 9, 15, then back down to 3. Then we've got 15, 9, and 3. Okay, then marking the end of the multiple, doing it all over again with 3, 9, 15, and 3. Then 15, 9, and 3, ending with an eyelet. All right, we've got 2 more rows to go. Let's do it to it. Row 32. Okay, row 32 is another one of those where we start off with a chaining of 2 because we need a grouping of 3 doubles at the very beginning. So chain up 2, turn the work, and double into the next 2 stitches. There we are. And then chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 13. Chain 1, skip 1, and then 13 doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this should be 13. For some reason I feel like double checking. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 13. Yeah, okay. Just making sure, you know me. You know how I am. You know how I roll. Okay, so after doing our 13, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 15. And the 3 at the middle is going to be eradicated and replaced by an eyelet. It reached its end. All right, so we've got 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so like I said, that grouping of 3 is now going to be replaced by an eyelet. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 15, going in with that symmetry. So I've got 3 already. 4. And 5. Keep scooting my work. It's become quite cumbersome, but we forge ahead. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so after the 15, we go back down to 13. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 13, and then we will finish off with 3. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so to finish up the multiple, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 3. Gonna scoot my marker there. And there you go. That is the multiple. Going to do the second multiple off camera, and I will be back momentarily. Okay, recap for row 23, starting off with 3 doubles, then a series of 13 doubles, 15 doubles, and a little eyelet in the middle for our multiple there. Then going back down, 15, 13, and ending with 3 doubles. Okay, then for the second multiple, we've got 13, then 15, eyelet in the middle, 15, 13, and then, of course, 3 at the very, very end. Okay, we've got one more row to go. Let's do it to it. Da-da-da-da! The last row of the repeat, row 33. For those of you that are still with me, congratulations, you have come so far. Give yourselves a big old pat on the back, and let's do it. Now, technically, this is the first row of the pattern, but instead of working into a chain, we're going to be working into existing stitches. So it's a little bit different, so I want to cover it regardless. So for row 33, we're going to start off by chaining up 3 and turning, skipping that first stitch, doing a double into the next 3. Okay, and then after that, we're going to create a series of 6 eyelets. So chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next 6 times. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 6. Okay, so after your 6 eyelets, going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches so that we have a grouping of 3. There we are. And then we're going to create a grouping of 7 eyelets. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 7 times. Okay, so this will make 3. And 4, 5, 6, and this should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, good. Okie dokie. Then going to double into the next 2 stitches for another grouping of 3. There we are. And we are going to backtrack now because this is the middle of our multiple. So another 7 eyelets. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 7 times. Okay, so I've already got 3 down, 4 to go. That's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Then double into the next 2 stitches to create that grouping of 3 to separate them. Then chain 1, skip a stitch, double into the next 6 times. And I think I got one more to go, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, one more. Okay, then double into the next 2 stitches for the grouping of 3 that we need. Very good. And to finish off the multiple, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double into the next. Okay, and of course, yes, as per usual, I'm going to do the next multiple off camera. I will do the recap, and there you go. I will see you in just a moment. Okay, so for the last recap, row 33, starting off with an eyelet, then 3 doubles, then series of eyelets for the most part, 6 eyelets, 3 doubles, 7 eyelets, 3 doubles right in the middle of the multiple, 7 eyelets, 3 doubles, 6 eyelets, 3 doubles, and an eyelet marking the end of the multiple. Then starting in again, 3 doubles, 6 eyelets, 3 doubles, 7 eyelets, 3 doubles, 7 eyelets, 3 doubles, 6 eyelets, 3 doubles, and a little eyelet at the end. And there you go, the full repeat of the pattern. Woohoo! I'm doing a little happy dance in case you couldn't tell. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, there you go, the full repeat of the pattern. All right, my dears, so that concludes the Spiderweb Filet Blanket. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I really hope that you liked it, and that is the pattern in its completion. Now, to continue, I mean, we've done 1 repeat. If you want to do more, by all means, go right ahead and do so. The repeat is just keep doing rows 2 through 33 as many times as you want to until your desired length has been reached. Yep, that's all there is to it. And of course, as always, the timestamps are in the description boxes of all of these videos that I posted, and also a link to the rest of the videos. The playlist link is also in the description box as well. So you can hop around and find what it is that you're looking for with no problem. And of course, I want to give a big, big thank you to Lion Brand for sponsoring me, and a big, big, big thank you to my testers for helping me make this pattern possible. I mean, it's one thing to write it, but to make sure that it's all hunky-dory and squared away, my testers, thank you ever so much. I really do appreciate it. And of course, the link to the yarn, Pound of Love, as well as a link to the pattern in the description box down below. So you can follow along with the pattern, and there you go. Oh, I'm just so happy. Oh, this has been a long process, but well worth it. So that being said, thank you ever so much again, and you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.